I am going to show you why you still miss them and why that does not mean something is wrong with you. I know this pain because I've lived it. I stood in a courtroom alone to fight for my own freedom after a deeply painful marriage. And I thought that was the hardest thing I would ever do. Then I met someone I loved deeply. When he left, I cried for months. And I had to go inward to find my way back to myself. I will deliver this by breaking it into 3 simple parts: why you still miss them and why that is okay, what that missing is really showing you about yourself, and how to come back to yourself even while the pain is still there. You still miss them and you feel ashamed of it. You keep telling yourself, I should be over this. Why can't I just move on? Stay with me, because what I'm about to share with you may be the most important things you hear today. Hello beautiful soul, welcome to the Doorway Healing. This is the place where we take painful love and turn it into self-love, understanding, and real inner peace. And if this is your first time here, I'm so glad you found this place today, of all days. You miss them, even after everything that happened, even after the silence, even after the pain, even after they left, and you cannot understand why. You wonder if something is wrong with you. You wonder why your heart will not just let go. I want you to know something right now. There is nothing wrong with you. Missing someone who hurt you does not make you weak. It makes you human. I know this because I have lived it. I walked away from a deeply painful marriage. I stood in the courtroom alone and I represented myself. No one fought that battle for me. I got out and I thought that was the hardest thing I would ever have to do. I was wrong. And after that, I read everything I could find. I worked on myself. I genuinely believed I had healed. And then I met someone I loved deeply. The kind of love that does not ask permission. The kind that breaks through every wall you built. When he left, I cried for months. And somewhere in those months of pain, a question came up inside me. I asked myself, if I could survive living a painful marriage, why can't I survive this? That question became my doorway back to myself. And today I want to walk through that doorway with you. We are going to look at 3 things together. First, why you still miss them and why that is okay. Second, what this missing is really showing you about yourself. Third, how to come back to yourself even while the pain is still there. Because sometimes the way out of pain is not hatred. Sometimes the doorway is understanding yourself. So let's begin. Why do you still miss them? Even now, even after they hurt you. Here is why. When you love someone deeply, your whole heart held onto them. Every warm moment, every time they make you feel seen, every time you thought, this is real, those moments became part of you. Missing them is not a mistake. It is not a sign you are broken. It is a sign that you love. And love is real, even when it hurts. Even when the person could not meet you where you were. Even when they left. I still love the person I lost, even now. That love did not disappear. And I stopped being ashamed of that. Because love is not the problem. Losing yourself in it is. And here is a truth nobody tells you. Missing someone and healing from them can happen at the same time. You do not have to stop missing them to start healing. You do not have to hate them to feel better. You can hold the love and still choose yourself. So ask yourself gently, with kindness, not blame. Am I missing who they really were? Or am I missing how I felt when I had hope? Am I missing them? Or am I missing the version of love I was waiting for? There is no wrong answer. This is not about blaming yourself. This is about getting honest with yourself. And that honesty is where healing begins. And if this is already touching something inside you, if you feel like you needed to hear that today, I want you to do one small thing. Drop a comment below and write, I'm coming back to myself. That is all. Just those words, it tells your heart, I'm paying attention now, and it matters. Sometimes missing someone is not only about them. Sometimes it's showing you something deeper. When I was in those months of crying, I started asking myself, why does this hurt so much? And the honest answer was hard to look at. I had been a people pleaser for most of my life. I never put my own need first. I gave and gave until others learned that taking from me was easy. I smiled and said, "It's okay," when it was not okay. I thought I was being kind, but deep inside something always felt wrong. And when I started asking a different question, not why did he leave, but where have I been leaving myself, something shifted. I saw it. I have been looking outside myself for things only I could give myself. I was looking for someone else to make me feel worthy, okay, to make me feel safe, to make me feel enough. And that is not love job, that is mine. Okay, maybe you have been doing this too. Maybe you have been so focused on holding on to them that you forgot to hold on to yourself. The missing is not about them. It is also about the part of you that you left behind. The part that got quiet so they would stay. The part that said yes when she meant no. The part that waited and never spoke to her real needs. Healing is not saying that what happened was okay. Healing is saying that I will not let what happened keep me from coming home to myself. That is the doorway. Maybe you still love them. Maybe you still hope they will come back. I understand that. I really do. I still love the person I cried for. I have made peace with that. Love does not have to be a wound, and it does not have to cost you yourself. But I want to ask you something honestly. Are you going to stop living your life while you wait? Are you going to keep checking your phone? Keep going over old messages? Keep waiting for them to come back and finally choose you? Because I ask myself the same question. I have survived living a painful marriage. I have stood alone in a courtroom and fought for my own life. And I was letting months of crying take me further from myself. The healing did not begin when he came back. The healing began when I stopped waiting for him to. When I stopped looking outward and finally looked inward. You can miss them and still eat properly. You can miss them and still rest. You can miss them and still go out. You can miss them and still speak kindly to yourself. You can love them and still choose yourself today. Use this pain as a doorway. Ask yourself, where have I been losing myself? Where have I stopped choosing me? What it would look like to come back to myself, even a little, today. The person I loved was someone who carried his own wounds. And so was I. The difference is, I chose to heal mine. And if they never returned, you still have found the most important person again, yourself. So if you still miss them, remember these three things. First, missing someone you love is not weakness. It is human. You do not need to hate them to heal. And you do not need to be ashamed of still loving them. Second, the pain is showing you something important, where you may have been looking outside yourself for things only you can give yourself. Where you may have been losing yourself trying to be loved. Third, you can miss them and still choose yourself today. Love does not have to cost you who you are. Coming back to yourself is not giving up on love. It's the beginning of real love, starting with you. You do not need them to return for your life to begin again. You only need to stop waiting and coming home to yourself. And if this video spoke to your heart, if you are somewhere in this healing right now, I would love for you to subscribe to the Doorway Healing. This is a community where we do not stay in blame. We understand, we heal, we grow, and we learn how to love without losing ourselves. You belong here. And one more thing before you go, I have a free guide called the Doorway Guide, 7 gentle steps to stop waiting in pain and come back to yourself. The link is below. It is free and is gentle. We are only just beginning, and there is so much more we are going to go through together. I'll see you in the next one, beautiful soul. And remember, the doorway out of pain is not hatred. The doorway is understanding yourself. Take care of your heart. I mean that.